So in the past, we've had a couple of stories about Jessica Alquist, who's a student at Cranston High School, where she was involved in a pretty important Supreme Court case to get a prayer banner taken down from her school. We've got a related case, actually, of Chelsea Stanton. She is a student, high school student in New Jersey, and she had been getting repeatedly punished over the course of a school year because she refused to stand during the Pledge of Allegiance. We've got a short video of this, and then we'll talk about it a little bit.
I couldn't bring myself to recite it anymore because I felt like it didn't respect me.
The 19-year-old former student of the month is an atheist. She has a problem with the words, "one nation under God." So every morning she sits silently as fellow students stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't think any student anywhere should have to stand up for this.
It's a move people we talk to don't agree with on a personal level.
You'd like to think that they'd have respect and stand anyway.
I would say she should have to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Stanton contends she faced possible disciplinary action at school when a teacher began to take issue with what she was doing. She says she was referred to the Student Code of Conduct, which cites a state statute saying students can keep silent but are required to show proper respect to the flag by standing during the pledge. Stanton fought back. According to the New Jersey Law Revision Commission, in 1978, that provision requiring students to stand was held unconstitutional by the United States Court of Appeals. But the state statute has never been revised to reflect the ruling.
They actually rule on it. It's just like, it's only been 30 years. We'll get to it eventually. They say later on in this news piece, the actual principal, they're not enforcing it on her anymore, thankfully, because of this. The principal says we're gonna look into revising, the student conduct code.
You should go revise it, definitely.
Don't you have to?
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't. But look, she has the law on her side. She has a constitution on her side. Everything's going to be okay. She doesn't have to stand. She doesn't have to say it. What's really weird to me is how this country was founded on religious freedom. And at the same time, there's such a promotion of Christianity in elements of government. So the Pledge of Allegiance is one example. Our money, our currency says, "In God we trust." So I'm curious to see what her thoughts are on that. Like, I'm totally supportive of her decision, right? But like, is she going to stop using money because it says "In God we trust"?
She might use credit or
Yeah,
something.
that's a good option, I
Unless
guess.
they start putting it on credit cards or something.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Well, historically, when they say freedom of religion, it was kind of more like freedom for their own version of Christianity. So
Right.
now they weren't thinking of atheists or any other religious group at the time, but the wording, it does apply that way. I think the people who were outraged in the video were confusing nationalistic standards or patriotism with religion.
With religion, yeah, I agree. I think when they were interviewed, they were totally confused about it because I think that you should be able to, or you should stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. It's patriotic. It's the Pledge of Allegiance, right? But I understand her objection to it, and I understand that one part of the Pledge of Allegiance that bothers her. So she's an atheist. She's uncomfortable with it. She has a constitutional right to sit and not recite it.
Yeah, or recite it and take out that part, that one part she has a problem with that was added later on after the pledge had already been around for a long time, which people in favor of that part of the pledge like to ignore. I also have a problem with the people who are outraged by it. You said she should recite it as patriotic. She should.
Yeah.
If she's feeling patriotic, she should have the option
Well, you
to.
shouldn't be forced to pay lip service.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
What the one girl said she should have to.
No,
that seems sick to me.
I know,
Like,
she's
you
like
have to recite this?
She's a high school student.
What if it
She doesn't even know
was
what she's
like
saying.
in Saudi Arabia we heard students were being forced to recite something, or if in Russia they were forced, we would instinctively say, no, I don't even care what the words are. They shouldn't have to recite that.
Yeah, I don't think she knows what the ramifications of that are. So is. So I doesn't.
Yeah, but thankfully in any event she doesn't have to do it anymore. And with this and the Jessica Alquist thing, I like to. It makes me optimistic, actually, about the future, that although we have these sorts of policies that seem antiquated and a little bit weird and un-American, in my opinion, that we are making progress, I think.
We are making progress. I'm curious to see what the updates of this story will be, because if it's anything like the story of Jessica Alquist, she will be completely harassed and threatened with
Oh, I'm sure she was.
death.
She didn't mention it, but although Jessica Alquist ended up doing pretty well. The $40,000 to go to school. She's getting some the Humanist Pioneer Award this year
Nice.
in New Orleans, which I think Cenk went to, actually, the American Humanist Association.
Nice.
So maybe he met her. I don't know. We'll have to check with him. But anyway, that makes me feel optimistic.
Yeah, that's how I feel about, you know, the gay rights movement in the country. Sure, there are pockets in this country where people are still hateful homophobes, but we're seeing attitudes change toward homosexuality, and I love that. It makes you optimistic. It makes you realize that we do progress in some aspects.